A real man knows what he wants, knows how to get there, and has fun while he's doing it. If you enjoy what you do in life, you have fun at your job, you have fun with your friends, with your wife, with your girlfriend, you're always having a good time. You're not stressed, you're not bitching, you're not complaining, you're not doing all this dumb shit. You're just enjoying life, but you're focusing on where you want to go. That's a real man. A real man takes accountability. He takes responsibility for his actions, for his mistakes, for his promises, and he keeps those promises, even if it harms him or his business. Why? Because it's keeping his integrity. He's keeping his word. He knows that his word is more important than any short-term outcome. Quick and true analysis if someone is a real man or if they're a fake man. If somebody does something wrong and they say, oh, it wasn't me, it was because my boss, it was because of my girlfriend, my wife, my this, my that. Right then and there, you can tell that guy is not a true man. He's a fake. And if you can't take responsibility for your actions, then you got a long ways to go. You are where you are because you put yourself there, and that is the goddamn truth. A real man believes what he believes, but doesn't push his own ideals and agendas onto other people. Keeps it to himself, keeps an open mind, and has respect for everyone, because everyone has lived a different life. A person who was born in India or in Asia has a completely different outlook on life than someone who was born in America, Canada, South America. You can't even compare the two. The information that both people received is so different, but a real man respects everyone, no matter who they are, no matter their religion, no matter their race, no matter their gender, and simply respects everyone and everything. A real man shows strength and resilience. Nothing in life that's good ever came easy. One of my other favorite quotes, I have it on my wall right here. Nobody cares, work harder. I tell that to my guys all the time. This is a results-driven world, and you either bring results or you can go work some bullshit job. People always try to think like, what is it that Michael Jordan has, or what is it that these superstar athletes have that regular people don't? And that thing is, it's an off button. They don't have an off button. I don't have an off button. I am going 24/7. Even when I'm not working, I'm working. Michael Jordan, he just outworked everybody. It's about hours on the mat. It's about hours practicing your craft. It takes 10,000 hours to get good at something. And the only way you're ever going to get better than somebody else is you're going to have to do more than they did. You're either going to have to do it better, do it longer, or do it smarter. Discipline. It's doing the things that you know you have to do instead of doing the things that you want to do. It's getting up, it's going to the gym, it's getting up, going to work, doing those extra hours, putting in that extra work, doing all the things that everybody else is not doing. I'm going on quotes today, so I'm just going to keep going. In order to be the 1%, you have to do what the other 99% will not do. In real estate, 1 out of 10 will make it out of the first year. And out of that 10%, 10% of the entire group equals 90% of the sales. So what does that mean? It means you have to be the 1%. And then to get to the next level, if you want to be the top of that, well, that means your name is Brandon Kessler. But that's for another day. Values honesty and integrity above all. There is nothing more important that I teach my guys, my team, than honesty and integrity. I don't care what your business is, but if you're in it for short, quick money, you will never be successful in life. You have to be in this for the long game. I don't care what business you are in. You can be basketball, you could be a fighter, you could be a coach, you could be an electrician, whatever it is. If you are not thinking long term and you're thinking short-sighted, short, fast, quick money, you are going to fail. But on the contrary, if you're thinking long term, if you have your clients, their true interest in mind, and it is your goal to help them, get them the best possible deals, if you're a mechanic, if you make sure that their car runs perfectly, it's tip-top, doesn't have any issues, you notify them if they do, and you give them a fair, honest price, well, guess what? People ask me this all the time. The best marketing is being a good business person. Whatever it is that you're doing, whatever your service is, if you have a very good service, if you have a very good product, if you have a very good craft, whatever it is that you do, if you do it better than anybody else, you will have to do zero marketing because all of your clients will market for you. And this is a fact. This has been proven and has worked for years. A true man, a real man, helps others along the way. He mentors other people that he sees need help or that he sees that they would be good at something because somebody helped him out along the way as well. There's a reason that I hired a bunch of local cholleros on my team, that's local Mexican people from Cabo San Lucas, instead of doing what every other broker does, which is go and hire a bunch of other Americans if they're American, or a bunch of other Canadians if they're Canadian. I wanted to do that because I wanted to help the country that I'm living in. That's the reason why I started my charity, Freedom Fight, because fighting is what gave me my freedom. Fighting got me out of the little shitty town I was in, and it's my responsibility to give back and to help others. And you'll see, there's a strange thing about life, but once you give, you will receive. And I don't mean give in order to receive, I mean honestly just truly give. A real man can adapt, can pivot, can change directions, can learn new skills, is open-minded. None of us have walked in other people's shoes. We've all lived our own road. You have no idea what it's like to be this other guy, so you cannot judge this person unless you know things about him. But a real true man keeps a true open mind on everything. You really have to put yourself in other people's shoes. And I think the best way for people to do this, especially young men, is to travel the world. When you travel the world, you talk to people from other countries. It changes your outlook on life. The older I get, the less I know. That might sound funny, but it just means that it is possible that two people are both right, and it's possible that two people are both wrong. It just depends on which direction you are walking from. A real man, a true man, has hard work ethic built into his blood, into his bones. For me, I've always been a hard worker. I wasn't a hard worker like my dad. My dad was the hardest working man I've ever met, but now I am. You have to have all of these things on the list that I'm giving you today, but you also have to work hard and smart. You also have to put in that extra time learning the new skills, learning the new techniques in order to become even better. Otherwise, you just turn in circles sometimes and work with people that are better than you. Back when I was fighting, I used to find the best guys that I could, and I would drive 3 hours towards Seattle to go train with these guys because there was nobody in my town really good enough that I could compete with that would give me a challenge. And that's the same with all business. You need to surround yourself with good people, with strong people, and you'll notice that real men put themselves around other real strong men, and they push off the rest. Lions hang out with other lions. Lions don't hang out with sheep. Real men never give up. They never quit. They never back down when times are tough. They just keep pushing forward. They just keep grinding. They just keep doing the things that you have to do every single day to climb the ladder. A real man doesn't bitch or cry or complain about what he was given, how he started, where he's at in his life. He realizes there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, and he just stays the course. He knows that if he puts in the work, follows the process, there's always going to be a positive outcome. How many millionaires and billionaires do you guys know that were bankrupt, but then a year, 2 years later, they're filthy rich again? It's because it's not about just hitting it big one time in a slot machine. It's not about hitting the lotto. It's about the process, and then the rest will come. Real men don't give a shit about what other people think about them. They're gonna do what they wanna do, and you either like it or you don't. Basic men, basic bitches, They just follow the herd. They do what everybody else does. And that is the definition of being a basic bitch. Real men think outside the box. They do things on their own. They think for themselves. They come up with new and creative ideas. Real men do things differently than everyone else. Real men, when it comes to friends, family, and loved ones, it doesn't matter. We swing first, we ask questions last. When it comes to my family, my people, I have their back no matter what. And if they're in the wrong, we'll handle that later. But in that moment, you bet your ass that I am going to be. I don't care what they did. They could have been completely out of line. They could have been completely wrong. And of course, I'll try to handle it in the best way that I can without getting violent. But if need be, yeah, hands will be thrown. All right, I want to get into a few skills that every real man should know. You guys can put some stuff in the comments, of course. But you'll see real men in a casino play 2 games, and 2 games only. Blackjack and poker, and that's it. It's because those are the only 2 games that skill is involved. All of the other games are just luck, nothing but luck. And real men, we don't give a shit about luck. We care about skill, hard work, and intelligence. That's why you'll see very intelligent men playing blackjack and poker. Only 1 in 10,000 people are a winning blackjack player. And in poker, only about 10% are winning players. It means everybody else in the casino is a loser. A real man doesn't need a big truck, but he should be able to drive one. A real man should be able to drive a stick shift. A real man should be able to change a tire. A real man should be able to do basic things around the house. You don't need to be a professional everything, but a real man should be able to do a hell of a lot with some duct tape, some zip ties, and a crescent wrench, and that's about it. Obviously, a real man needs to know how to fight. On top of that, a real man should know how to use a gun. Should know how to use most guns. I think that most men only know how to do it nowadays in a video game, because doing it in real life and shooting something or someone is a lot different. A real man, now I'm not saying you should be in a fight, but I am saying you should be trained, and you should do some training. In fact, the more that you train, the less you will need to fight in real life. I come from a very rough town where it was normal to fight every single weekend, every week, sometimes 3 to 4 times a week. Me and my dad could tell you stories for days. Life is a competition. If your mom or your dad or somebody told you otherwise, they're probably losers. Everything in this world is a competition. My editor, who's editing this right now, was competing against multiple other editors. The girlfriend that you have right now, you're in competition for her. You might not even know it, but you are. And real men are good at competing. Real men can take a loss and come back from it. A real man, after a loss, wants to play again, and he wants to get that W right back. If you beat me in something, we playing again, immediately. And if you try to get up and leave, well, I'm talking some shit to try to get you to play again. This has been a crazy week for me. 2 very close friends passed away. Old man Wayne, one of the toughest SOBs I've ever met in my life and had the privilege of rolling with, and the legendary UFC, Strikeforce, IFL, superstar Benji both passed away a couple of days of each other. I spent hours on the mat, countless hours with both of these gentlemen. 2 of the toughest guys I've known, including Ben Manning, who passed away just a few years ago. It's weird for me to see 3 of the toughest guys I know are now gone. Those 3 guys were real men. Benji was my age, 1 year older, and Benji's the reason that I'm here, standing here in Mexico, in Cabo San Lucas, in this beautiful condo, that I get the opportunity to go out and have a wonderful life, is because I seen him doing cool stuff. And I watched him on TV doing fighting. I watched him fighting in the UFC at the Kelso Theater. And I thought, holy shit, that kid's doing it. Maybe I could do it too. And that's what started me off in my fighting career. That's what put that little seed in my brain. And later down the road, I started it and ended up in Thailand and had my career. And now I'm here in Mexico. Without that, I'd probably still be in my little shit town. Kelso, I love you, but I'm gonna put another video out on this. I had no idea how rough my town was until I traveled the world. The town that I'm from is one of the hardest fucking towns you've ever seen in your life. Before Benji passed away, I feel lucky enough to have told him thank you. And I told him thank you for doing what you did in your life. Because without you doing what you did, I wouldn't be where I'm at. The things that we do in our life sometimes affect other people without them even knowing it. And when he did that, he had no idea he was affecting me in this positive way, but he was. And the cool thing about Benji was when he was at the top of his game, when he was at the UFC, when he was hanging out at the Playboy Mansion, when he was doing all these cool things, he was still just a normal, cool guy that would talk to anybody. And everybody and their mother wanted to talk to Benji. And he had time for them all. And I thought, fuck, that's cool. If I ever get to a point of celebrity where people want to talk to me like that, I will do my best to do the same. And he was a real man. He literally disarmed an armed robber when they were robbing the restaurant. Everybody in the place was hiding under the table, and he snuck up behind the guy, knocked the guy out, took the gun. I mean, he was a crazy son of a bitch, but fearless like you've never seen. And one of the few guys that scared the shit out of me when it came to sparring and training. I can say this, I know he lived a hell of a life. Real men live lives, don't always live too long. To Ben, to Wayne, to Benji, I just want to say I love all of you, and to your families. You guys are going to be in my thoughts and prayers, and let's keep these real men going and pass it down to the youth. You guys know I have my charity, Freedom Fight, so anybody in the Cabo San Lucas area who's interested in training, who wants to become a real man, you can message me, send me a message, Instagram, BKCabo, on my WhatsApp, YouTube. I know there's still some real men out there, some young guys that will be the last standing, the last of the real men. And I think the only way to get there is through training, because we have pussified everything else in this world. I'll see you guys on the next video.